Oh, okay, yeah, I mean, as far as taking We'll call this meeting to order of the County Commissioners for October 29th. We'll start with the roll call. Commissioner Cushing is running a few minutes late. Let's see, he should be here in about 15 minutes, I hope. Commissioner Trumbull.
Here.
Commissioner Marshall present. Move to the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd ask Deputy Director Fox of our Emergency Management to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director Fox. We'll have to move with the approval of the minutes. The Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of October 15th.
So moved.
Second, motion having a move and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it.
Yep.
We'll go. Now, public comment.
Yep, Commissioner, before we venture any further, can we make a couple of adjustments to the agenda? Executive session, 1 MRSA 405D contract, 6D contract matter. There'll be a second one of a similar description at the end as items K and 11. As well, remove K and L. Yeah.
Remove L.
Say 11, L. And we're gonna remove item I.
Remove item I.
Yep.
Maintain the executive session J, add 2 more executive sessions, K and L.
So moved.
And these are contractual matters consistent with Maine Revised Statute, Section 405.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
And a motion?
Moved? Well, that's chair.
Yeah, I moved to second.
Second?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Administrator. We'll now move to public comment. You want to start with those present and then?
Well, if it's non-agenda items, remember, so if anybody's here for donations or budgetary items, but anybody non-agenda related items, public speaking, public comment, once, twice, anything online, Ryan?
We have 4 online, is it?
They're for their agenda items as well, so I think you can move, Commissioner.
They're all agenda items?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move to, let's move to item E. UT, is Director Buswell here? Not here yet?
Don't see him yet.
Do we want to go back to, Mr. Hughes is
Yeah,
here?
that's pretty standard.
It is,
We can
but-
deal with that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Hughes is in the front,
Yep.
but do we want to wait for Commissioner Cushing
There's
to
nothing-
be here?
there's nothing.
I'm pretty confident that he's in support of,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's take up
Yep. David?
land acquisition, discussion and approval. Chair will open it up.
Yep, this is the second option payment as Mr. Hughes will describe.
Welcome, Mr. Hughes.
Oh, good.
Do we have a folder?
So Scott, I'm not clear on what is to remain confidential about a contract. Talk about option payments, amounts of those payments, timing of those payments, are those all public?
I believe at this point that it's all public, yeah, or should be, yeah,
Okay,
it should
very
be
good.
public,
I
yeah.
just want to make sure.
Yeah,
So, we fully executed the contract for the purchase, of parcel at Ammo Industrial Park on May 6th. We had an option payment at that time of $20,000. The next, which is applicable to the purchase price, it's non-refundable, but applicable to the purchase price. We have 2 more options scheduled. There's another one on November 1st of $40,000. Okay, same as the first, it's non-refundable, but applicable to the purchase price. And then we have a third payment due of $40,000 upon receipt of all necessary site location development permits.
Do you have a date on that?
That one's dependent on a lot of variables.
Yeah.
So that'll roll out depending on how things happen. But the auction itself expires on May 5th, 2027. So it's gonna happen sometime between November 1st and 25 and May 5th, 27.
Okay, any comment, Phil?
Yeah, I just had some inquiries about this. I think, just to explain it to the public, I mean, paying a non-refundable fee sounds, oh, that's crazy, but we're tying up somebody's land for a certain amount of time, so it's standard and reasonable to be making these payments. And they say, well, why don't you buy the whole piece of land? We've got a bond vote in June. If that bond vote fails, we're stuck with a piece of land we can't use. So this is a prudent course of action, and after June, we can, and we're doing our due diligence. We've done testing on the land, everything looks great, so we're moving ahead with this parcel, but it wouldn't be a wise financial decision for us to purchase this now. It's extending the option is the best avenue for the town. So I appreciate that work, and it makes sense to go ahead and make that second payment.
Yep.
Thank you, Administrator, any comment?
Nope.
Motion to, is there a motion?
I would move we make the second option payment on November 1st.
Second the motion?
Okay.
Call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? No, 2-0. Motion carries.
All good. And on the second item, Commissioner, in discussion, we feel it's probably best not to bring out too many, there are too many unknowns on this project right now that we're hoping to have more information, so.
So we'll dispense with that item for today?
Yeah.
All right.
That was easy, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move to item E on today's agenda.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David. Yeah.
Thanks, David.
As usual.
I told you I'd get you out of here.
Director Boswell.
Morning.
Morning.
You guys can draw a crowd.
It was you, I thought.
Are they
It
here?
is for us, uh-oh.
I thought you were doing the UT budget today. Yeah. Oh, the UT budget, there'd be more people than that showing up. We tabled last meeting, the discussion on buying that one-wheeled buggy that you use to lug people out of remote areas where you can't get ATVs or snowmobiles into. We tabled it until this week. I didn't know, the $1,800 is just our share. The fire chief, in his budget, is willing to put up $300. It's a $2,100 machine. It can be carried on the ambulance, carried in a fire truck, be ready and available. And yes, they're willing to let the other fire departments that they have mutual aid with use that same piece of equipment. So hopefully that one piece would last, would help at least 2 or 3 different departments with ambulance service.
Personally, I would like to move forward. It's a small amount of money, it's insignificant. I know the chairman's not here and he's opposed to doing it at this time. So personally, I don't have an issue with it, so I guess it's up to you, Commissioner Marshall, what you want.
Out of deference to the chairman, I would move we postpone this until he's present and can articulate his concerns. I'll make a motion to postpone.
I would say I'd like a specific time period on that, of the next meeting.
When's our next meeting?
The 5th.
Next week.
Okay.
Next week.
I would say-
Table it
Postpone
till
till this time, next week, same time, same station.
Second that.
Okay. That's all I had, Tom.
Thank you.
Enjoy, we're still on for, Lisa, why not?
Yeah, on the 5th.
Next week on the
Yeah.
5th.
As long
Okay,
as
to
you guys-
discuss.
Your communications, we're gonna give her a list of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've given her a preliminary list of questions. If there
You and I
are
need to chat
additional
on that.
questions, okay, we can
Okay.
chat on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
because-
We'll make sure you finalize that, so
Yeah,
she
I have
can.
Right.
some, I have some questions on the UT.
Yeah, some of them involved, kind of passing it off to, oh gosh, third baseman for Atlanta Braves, Chipper Jones,
Yeah,
Chip Jones,
Yeah.
yeah,
Harold Chip Jones.
Harold Chip Jones, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
He's a fiscal administrator for the UT for the state.
yeah.
Some of those questions he would have to have some input on, some of the questions that we had.
Okay.
But we can bring him up
These are
some other
informational
time.
questions that we are asking, these just.
You guys met him a few weeks ago, but we can bring him back
Yeah.
and we can get some more questions, find out what Lisa can tell us.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Let us go back, we haven't voted on this, on the motion to
Right.
to table, so we'll take an official vote. Aye,
Yep.
motion carries. Okay,
Well, we can go down to my section if you wish.
yes, let's skip the commissioners' budget review at this time.
So as far as your budget committee, I believe Commissioner Tremblay, you still have one more person? I believe Commissioner Cushing is all set. I can double, triple check with him later.
I may need to get Mary Ann some contact info.
There you go, yeah, one of them does need. And then Commissioner Marshall, just whether or not all of yours are confirmed or any changes?
I'm waiting to see, I'm anticipating no changes, but I need confirmation that those current members from the 3rd district are willing to serve another round. So I will confirm that by the end of Thursday.
All right. And my second item today was, there's a line on the agenda, an item on the agenda, Municipal Budget Advisory Panel, discuss. This may come up with a different name as it moves along, but,
Just something
What-
we're talking about, I haven't heard about this.
well, I know the chair is aware of it, which is why I'm continuing with it, and the treasurer is. This is gonna be, and I highly recommend it, a group of municipal leaders, not the elected officials, but more of, they need the support of the elected officials, but some of the town administrators and finance people to come in and sort of learn the county budget, learn the ways of the county budget. Again, sort of a cooperative effort to bring conversations together. In short, there are a lot of advantages to both sides by doing this. For me, the first specific task of this group should be to develop the immediate timeline of transferring to the fiscal year, which means a 6-month advancement. And then from that, what should be done is move out to 5 or 6 years when, hopefully when the new facility, or an alternative, so I don't sound biased, an alternative to the current facility is made, and to show how those expenses will turn and roll into a possible bond payment, or if there's another option. I think that's very important for the municipalities to see that.
Yeah.
In my conversations with them, since our budget has some huge numbers in it, it does, and there's a reason behind it. And they all really relate, the majority of it relates to the facility that's currently over there.
Right.
So that's kind of what's in development. Again, I know the chair is very knowledgeable of this and has had some conversations already with regards to moving it. So I just want to make you all aware.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd just like to hear more about it. It seems like everybody's welcome to come to these meetings, but just the budget meeting, they can come to the budget committee meeting. It seems like we're putting a lot of committees out there. Before me, there was I think the chair put together on his own, maybe some committee to look at long-range planning for the county. We're getting a lot of committees out there. I'm not sure we need all these committees, and we just need to do our job the right way, and I think we'll be all set.
Yeah, I think for me, and I agree, I think that this group can help deliver or solidify. The very first pillar, in my opinion, for the county to get back on track is not capital planning or any other item that can be done. It really should be done in-house when you're charged with that kind of money. It should be transitioning to the new facility or an alternative to, and switching to a fiscal year. And just having them come in and review so that the more they understand, because I believe a lot of what they're facing is the unknown. And, the best way to tackle the unknown is to get educated. And I think bringing in conversations and this financial piece is the key pillar to building a strategic plan, to building anything else. And it doesn't have to be an annual event. I think if both sides kind of hold each other accountable and looking at it and working at it. Some other suggestions was maybe making a change to some of the change to a little bit added to the composition of the budget committee. These are all, for me, I think.
That's isn't that a statute?
It is, but each county is different. If you look at the statute, each county is different. So that's an easy change if everybody wants to do it. Again.
I see if we need something like this, I see it more as like what the sheriff has at the jail with it. I don't know what they call it,
Board of
The
Visitors.
Board of Visitors, something like that. They're not really, we don't need an advisory committee, but some way we can have a dialogue with
Yeah.
the people at the municipal level.
It's a conduit of a dialogue for input from the municipalities and the other interested parties, so that we have a uniform dialogue, an open uniform dialogue about how to proceed.
Yep. I agree.
All right.
And again, the name is, as I'm typing, that's what came to my head, so.
Supposed to be strategic,
Yeah, well, there we go. I filled that time pretty well.
Morning, gentlemen.
Oh,
Ladies.
we'll pass the gavel.
All right, how we on the gavel? All right.
Yeah, should we be now moving into public comment?
Okay,
We have 4 online, and we have the visiting public today.
great.
And it's turned over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Let's start with those who are here.
Yeah, I think
We
we
already
meant
know.
program donations, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
folks are here for the budget, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you want to switch to those binders.
Well, yeah, that's basically what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, I would personally start with 34, the program donations.
All right, let's go.
We can always come back to Lee as he's 30, but we don't want to go first. Did he arrive yet? Did it?
Well, he's here somewhere. So my apologies for being tardy. Did you kind of summarize anything as to where things stand at this point, or we're taking it department by department?
We decided to look at departments, those who were here first, to address them. No real summary of the budget was done at this time. I mean,
That may be good to say.
I can do the computation, the page, and start with that.
I think that kind of helps frame
Yep.
what we're looking at and determine from there where the commission feels we need to go in presenting this to the budget committee.
Which actually is something that I don't think I sent to you.
Oh, okay.
So I can tell you at this point, the budget, the entire budget, including the $3.5 million funding gap with the jail, the additional $600,000 with the jail for this year, and the county, I think, current increase in expenses is a little over $1 million, accumulates to 20.28%.
All right, well,
Can you help me a second? A month ago, we sent a letter out to the municipalities talking about a 14% increase in the budget. How do we go from 14 to 20?
And during that, that was in my PowerPoint, and I thought I was very explicit that only covered the gap, the funding gap of the jail. We had not
They
gotten
were all
into.
under the-
we've
There.
taken everything under advisement
Right,
until we got to this stage where we
right, and I
That's
know,
6%, but we hear it a lot of, we got everybody's budget. I didn't hear anybody with much of a budget increase over 2%. How do we come up with overall? So that, if you take out the jail,
8.2% would be our increase
over
after the
6%.
22.8% of the, the 14% for the,
I think it's twice, so.
it was 14%, right, Scott?
there was an estimate.
yeah, I have it broken down, there's some notes in here.
We haven't copied that yet.
This one should be in line.
So that estimated 22%, 14% is the previous anticipated
here we go.
jail, resulting in a 8.2%.
22% or 20%?
20.28%, right?
So not
this point.
22%.
Yeah,
Okay. So as it stands right now, the undrafted or unapproved budget, if we were to approve it today, would be a 20% increase year over year.
yes.
I am not finding the summary that you're referring to in my book. You are.
Oh, it's not, yeah, you don't have, it's in your meeting binder, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I could have put that in there,
No,
but that was
okay.
sent over the weekend before. Which tab's it under, Mary Ann? Yeah, right there, commissioners.
Okay. There we go. So some of the components that we may want to break down here are, the jail portion of this, where are we at in regards to the cap, looking at 2026?
Yep. So you want the cap number?
Well, let's start with that. That would be Department 21.
Yes.
What's that going?
So your current cap number is 12.6 million.
Okay.
That's an increase of a little over 4 million.
And
What?
that includes the 3.4 or 3.5 that we've been carrying for a while, plus the difference from 25 that you have estimated.
The 26 increase, yes.
Including next year, so
Yep.
that's cumulative over 5 years.
Mhm.
So, well, I'm guessing, I'm just going to clarify too what Brewer did. Brewer sent us a letter talking about over 10 million. I'm guessing Brewer saw each year's and added all those up. And then Brewer talked about over $10 million deficit in the jail fund. I think they must have misfigured those.
Those were accumulated annual deficits, yes.
Right, so they thought each accumulation was just for that year, not
It
for the
was.
previous year.
It was,
Just for that
it was,
year.
where it stands, so this really isn't an accumulating number, it is per se, but it isn't. The 3.4 million that the jail is underfunded, because each year could change with revenues, it could change with expenses within itself. So, but if you take 3.4 this year, 2.5, but 4 or 5 last year it was. And then when it started in 22, it was a little over a million, 23 was like $1.8 million, 24, what I say, was 2.4, 2.5, and 25 is projected to be about 3.4. So if you add all those up annually, what they're looking at from perspective is that's what eats away at your cash flow and eats away at your fund balance. So each year that you don't have monies to cover that, that depletes the fund balance. That's why the fund balance is going from a positive number of just shy of 3 million, probably gonna be a negative number of roughly, could be 4 to 4.5.
Okay, well, just so I can clarify, the last meeting what I asked for was, can we get a breakdown for each year what the jail cap is? So I guess I missed it. So if there's $4 million you're showing, now you're saying it's just for 1 year. It's not going back since we stopped funding the jail cap.
Well,
$4 million is the cap for next year alone.
But
Yes,
part of that has been what has accumulated because we have not received any supplemental funding from the state.
Right.
And we have not accounted for those deficiencies in those prior year budgets.
Right, so if we fund this $4 million for next year, we're still gonna have the gaps, the deficits from the other year. These are not, this isn't an accumulation.
those gaps will be in the fund balance, not in your annual. So kind of like an income statement for your business, that's what this is. You know that you've got you got a $4 million loss is what you're projecting, a $4 million short. So I've got to raise my prices. Well, the only way we can do that is through the property tax. The prior years will affect the equity of your business, and that's what the fund balance is.
Retained earnings.
Retained earnings, equity,
Fund
yeah,
balance.
All right,
capital.
no, we're talking, it's showing the actual jail budget next year is 8.2, right?
Right.
I mean, no, excuse me, 2020.
That
It's
is,
much higher than that.
that is the
The
jail
25
cap.
is 8.5.
16.2, 16,275.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that right here.
Not a total at the end of the day.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I believe he's looking at the jail cap page.
So does that fall under, where does that fall under here?
So this is where it gets a little weedy and it's difficult for some people to follow, but the jail budget was has not been in the county budget for a long time. The cap was used to, you could go up to a maximum amount, that cap was used to sort of balance that. So if you needed more of the cap than what you had, you either had to find revenue somewhere else, or the state would fill it with supplemental funding, or you ate it. And historically, up until boarding came across, that's when the county really developed issues, because the state is no longer supplying the appropriate funding.
Yeah, it's going back and looking at the minutes of 2015. At that point, the administrator, Joe Collins, was warning that our jail cap.
This has only been since 2021.
Well, that's because we've not received the supplemental funding since '21.
Flat funded, right?
Then you take the significant, boarding jumped right
We
up.
can blame the state for not getting the funding, but we're the ones responsible for not putting it in the budget. Getting it at this point, so.
Or you're at a cap.
Which is why your number is so large today.
Yeah, the
So I
cap.
think the question becomes, recognizing what the problem is, what we are able to deal with this year if we're not going to deal with the entirety of this issue, then what is the plan that we have to deal with the shortfall? Because it is crippling our cash balances to not deal with this issue.
Right. If you choose to only say, we'll just say theoretically, because I hate to say this because I would not recommend it, but unless you had a game plan, but if you choose to only say do half of it, 2 million, then that's going to negatively affect your fund balance, because you're going to be 2 million more in debt, which is going to, in my opinion, decrease the chances of bonding for a new facility. It's also going to reduce cash flow, and as the treasurer can attest to, so you're going to borrow that money. So municipalities are going to have to pay interest for us to borrow that money. We're all going to have to pay interest to borrow that money. And then the other side of it is to look at, I hate peas, so I'll just say, all right, I only want to eat half of my serving of peas. I've eaten my, meat and taters, and I've eaten dessert. Mom, can I only eat half of my peas? Well, that's great, except if you can only eat half of your peas, and the next night you get a serving and a half. So, that's my little humor for it.
Commissioners, can I
That's all I got.
make one question? Because you have so many people here and I worry about misinformation.
I understand.
This year's jail budget for 2026 is less than 4% increase. I understand that there's a fund balance issue, but there are some in the public that will run and say, wow, the jail budget's going up 18%. The jail budget is less than 4%.
Right.
The jail budget has not soared in years except for boarding. There are two things that affected the jail's budget. Boarding costs that over 5 years ago, for years that we've been bugging communities or begging the communities to do something about the jail, we went from $0 to $2.5 million because we've not done something with the facility. Second cost is medical. We are rifling folks through into the jail lobby and into jail booking because they're banned from the hospital, they're banned from shelters, they're banned from places that are getting money from ARPA from you, but they're ending up in the jail and we're paying for their medical costs. I just want to be clear on this because it continues, there are some in the public in towns that are saying the jail budget's out of control when the jail budget has actually been there, we've not received the revenue. I just want to clarify that.
It goes back to the cap. It goes back to the cap.
Which we didn't build.
And we're restricted on what we can do.
Yes.
Regardless of that, we're
Regardless,
faced
yeah.
with the reality that
I
we've
know.
got a debt. Have you had an opportunity to run the numbers as I suggested to you
Not yet.
yesterday on? Okay,
Yes.
I understand that. I think where we're at is we've got to decide what are the options that we can put forward to the budget committee. I see potentially 3 scenarios that we could consider. One is that we do as the administrator has presented here, which is absorb the full deficit in this budget cycle. That puts us without any changes to the current budget as proposed by departments at approximately a 20% increase. We need to see what the numbers are if we were to do 50% of that in this budget cycle. Because the factors we've got to consider here are, how do we retire the debt service? And we've got to have a plan for that, or we do jeopardize our chances in volume. And I think we have to recognize overall, not having a new facility does not improve this situation at all. If anything, it exacerbates it.
Yeah, I think if you stick to the current facility, then I think financially and operationally, the county's in dire straits if it doesn't fix that.
We pass the budget, if we pass the budget as presented, then you go up to the voters in June and ask them to pass the bond for the amount of money we're gonna need, and I think we're gonna be in trouble.
Just, I'll do respect, we're not prepared to go out in June for bond.
When did that change?
We're prepared to go out and ask for approval to move out of the county
I
seat.
thought they were gonna be simultaneous. That's what we always were talking about. But something
We've had that
changed.
discussion, but I think
It was gonna be November, and then we said we're gonna shoot for June. Something changed.
I think this is where that municipal group could also help with, and I
I've
think.
got a question for the
Yeah.
sheriff.
Yeah.
So just look at this scenario, sure. Suppose the state has capped us at how many people we can have in the state standard. Is it 157?
157.
Okay. We get to 157. We say, we're full. We're not taking any more, and we're not paying to send anybody anyplace. What happens? What do they do? What happens?
Take our occupancy license away and then we become uninsured through the risk pool, which happened 10 years ago. Commissioner, that's why we're paying boarding out people now. I've gone through this fight a decade ago. We brought this forward to folks. Nobody seemed to have the interest of addressing it, but we continued to talk about. We were in trouble then when the state said, you cannot go over. We're boarding out 60 to 70 a day. And by the way, this is after criminal justice reform. This is after all the changes that could possibly be made to the system to say, are there really more people in the jail that don't need to be there? Through
No, I'm
pre-trial.
not saying we take more than 157. I say we get to the 157, we don't take any more, and we say we're not gonna pay for anybody to board it out. We don't have the money. The state, it's your problem, not us. It's court's problem, it's the state's problem, not our problem. It's not the problem of the taxpayers of Penobscot County.
But
What happens then?
it is there.
But state law limits us to 157, but requires us to take more than 157.
Right, we're
As there,
responsible to have, by statute, to have a county jail. The
Right, we've got one.
statute doesn't say what the limit is. The limit is your occupancy license. No different than the fire department putting an occupancy license on City Hall to have someone.
Right, so we get the occupancy limit, we just say we just can't take any more.
So to be clear, every town, police department in Penobscot County, just when this was brought up over us saying, hey, if somebody comes in and they've got a mangled leg, we should not take them. They should go to the hospital before they come into the jail. The towns voted against that and had the state mandate that we actually take them. No, and it says, under no circumstance can you refuse. That's the last words from the governor's office that says under no circumstance. So.
and that is not just municipal, that is any agency, law enforcement agency.
Right, yeah. And so that create, I mean, it's frustrating because I'm on the news every day talking about these things, and folks, it's like, I don't know that people have taken it serious enough to say, we've been in trouble for years because of the facility. This isn't about incarcerating more people, it's about having the number. Getting to your point though, if someone goes and changes the law and says, we don't have to take them, then let's not do it. But we have to be mindful. There was outrage during COVID when we pushed back saying we're not taking in X amount of people. Municipal, county and state law enforcement need a place to take people who pose great risk to the public. And it's important, and I don't think that we should be in the business of saying, we're not gonna take somebody in because we're full. Dangerous people have to be removed from the street. And I wish there was a better answer. I do feel like some of the answers over the past 2 decades, so I'd say it's been more than 10 years, that we've been addressing, making sure that night hunters and speeders and, you know, marijuana possession. Those folks haven't been in jail for decades, and I still hear people saying, oh, we should make sure that, you know, that's what's impacting your jail populations. That doesn't impact the populations at all. There's nobody in jail for unpaid fines. Those things have changed decades ago. The issue really remains that we have individuals that have checked off boxes, that have burnt out every service there is, who pose great risk to the public, that should be incarcerated. And we need a correctional facility that meets that need today. And if we can't take them, we're forced into board now. That's what happened 10 years ago when the state said, they actually took our occupancy license, as you remember. And our risk pool said, you are no longer insured as a county to operate the county's jail.
Just to be clear, they took it because we were over the capacity. I just want to be clear, I mean, I haven't talked to the sheriff about this, but I'm inclined to support the jail budget as long as it doesn't have any fees for boarding out prisoners, and then the state can do what they want to figure out how they're going to pay for boarding out prisoners. But I'll support a jail budget with no money for boarding the prisoners to other counties.
Okay. Moving back to the issue at hand, we have got to determine what the options are that we're going to present to the Budget Committee on November 18th. We are faced with the knowledge that we have roughly 4.1 million that is a deficit or a revenue line that we're not going to be able to recapture. Are you, Scott, able to share with us how much it takes to move 1 point down from that 20%?
No, give me a minute, I'll report it.
Okay. I think that's one of the factors that we've got to decide when it comes to how we address the shortfall, because the rest of the budget, as you've indicated, is roughly about 5%.
6%.
6.
Okay.
So what represents most of that 6% is insurance, which is usually most of it. I mean, obviously, I think 3% would be wages and benefits, right?
I think we can go back through as we took all of these departments under advisement and look at that. But we've got to have a starting point that says, what are the options that we want to present? We know what option 1 is. It's to do the full 4.1 with the budget line items that have been presented by the departments here. I think we have to know what option 2 is, which is if we do, say, $2 million of that $4 million this year, then what does that end up creating for an increase in the overall budget? And then option 3 is what percentage is necessary to protect cash flow, because that is critical for how we operate going forward. And then what do we need to do to look at the different departments to see what savings could be imposed there to get to that level that assures the cash flow is appropriate while still reducing some portion of this debt. I personally cannot vote for a budget that does not reduce some of the obligation. It's just going to
Well, we just got the audit for 21, and the audit said we
be
need to
22 as well.
yeah, but the furthest one back that we've got to address is the shortfall in the jail. And that year, we've never funded that yet, we just used fund balance. We've got to officially correct that issue with the auditors as well. And that wasn't it 800,000 that year, in 21?
Yeah, roughly, yeah, I think it was close to $1 million, but yeah, something like that.
So does that sound like a workable plan to the commission, that we find options so that we're prepared to offer that to the budget committee on the 18th?
Well, I think that's imperative, yeah.
Commissioner Trimble?
No, yeah, we've got to have some
Okay.
kind of options. I'd like to see a 10% option.
$250,000 for 1 point. 250,000.
250,000 per 1%, right?
Yep,
So,
I mean, roughly, yeah.
So I think as a goal, we know we're looking at roughly 20% of what's here now. What we've been shared is to reduce this by 1 point, we need to identify $250,000 worth of reductions.
Savings.
If you did 1 million off of that deficit, that would equal 4 points on this. There's no other factors that would, if the budget was status quo with what we've been presented, and we only took $1 million off the debt, we would be looking at reducing this by 4 points.
It should be down roughly 4
16.
points.
Okay. If we reduce it 2 million, that would be 8. So that would potentially get us to 12. My question to you and the treasurer is, what does only $2 million off the deficit mean to cash flow for the county? You'll have to look at that.
I'll have to look at that, yeah.
Okay. But right now, your estimate is with the current situation, we would require a TAN in January?
You're right. We'd be funding the budget January to October, the end of October,
Okay.
through borrowing money.
So options that could be available to us to mitigate that would be reducing the debt, or going to our partner communities and inquiring about them making interim payments
Interim
on,
payment in between those.
that could lessen the amount that we would have to take on a TAN.
Right, it would.
Okay.
And especially from the larger municipalities.
This may be a little unfair, but when do you think you and the administrator might be able to get together and come up with an alternative to present to communities to see if they would voluntarily help? We can't order them to, but we can ask as part of the solution to this plan for their, I know they're gonna need assurance from their elected officials as to whether they would go forward with that.
All I could do is ask.
But you can change the timing of payments and get borrowing the TAN. We'll be passing a deficit budget because we've already depleted fund balance. If you don't fund this fully, a TAN's not even gonna cover it. You're not gonna be able to pay back the TAN, because you're gonna be passing a deficit budget.
Yep.
In the past, we've done these, but we had the money in fund balance and make up, the fund balance is gone. So if we don't fund this fully, our TAN's not gonna help.
You know, at the risk of repeating something, but I think the treasurer started there, and I don't know if it was talked about, you know, having to borrow from the beginning of the year till September, October, because we don't get our payments till
Right.
about September, October.
The big ones
If
don't come in
you
until
shave 2 million
tomorrow.
off, you're gonna have to plan on borrowing that 2 million for the end, so that you can pay it off. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's what I've been preaching.
and the larger municipalities don't pay until tomorrow, so.
Understood. My point in that was more reflecting the impact on cash flow than it was reducing the debt. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it'll help with cash flow, but it'll
But this is
worsen.
different than the past
It'll
4
worsen
years.
the
The past 4 years, we've had the fund balance. Fund balance is gone.
Well, technically you didn't, because,
Yeah.
up until probably
That's how we've
halfway
had
through
the
2 years
cash
ago,
flow.
right,
We don't have that luxury anymore.
right.
It's more about,
So the simple answer to your question, Chair, is that could be done to the level of what, or if it needs to be done, is what you decide today.
Yeah,
So
and I'm not saying it should be, I'm just saying,
Yep.
we have an obligation to present options to our partners. In the past, it's been, here's the bill, and I don't think that that's appropriate, and I think it's even more critical in light of what we're dealing with, that we're as transparent as we
Yep.
can be. Not that this has not been raised by you and other administrators in the past, but we're now at an impasse. We can no longer continue to operate as if we're gonna get the cavalry coming over the hill.
It'd be a huge disservice to all. I mean, I know the number's a tough pill to swallow, but, and again, the fix, which is a long-term repair, is an alternative to what we currently have for a facility. Because the sheriff is not going to be able to control there's a lot of stuff that's not in the budget that, you know, thank goodness to ARPA, thank goodness to the capital funds, thank goodness to Brian's maintenance department. And it's only gonna get worse, the Band-Aids, it's only gonna get worse. So I just say, I try to choose not to say new facility, because I don't want to be accused or have the commission accused of being biased, but we have to fix the current situation. Or operationally, and now today we realize financially, it's gonna put everybody in dire straits.
It's unsustainable,
It is.
unsustainable.
So based on the understanding that we have, that we have to deal with this within this year's budget in some manner, how would the commission like to proceed? Do you want to go through the different departments? Is there a particular place that we would like to start?
Can I just say something about where we're starting with this proposed, you know, what we got for budget, what the increase would be? I mean, it would be not easy, but we would be able to pass this budget as it is, send these out to the municipalities, and they would have to pay it. I don't think it would be prudent, I don't think it would be a good move by the county. I mean, municipalities across the county are struggling right now, property owners are struggling. They're seeing huge increases in property valuations, while commercial properties are stagnant. So in April of next year, Bangor's gonna get the revaluations. Other town, Holden just got the revaluation. Anybody in the UT that got they'll sell. If you have waterfront property, your values are pretty much going to go. In Bangor, a lot of people are gonna see their home valuations go. And then even though this is 20% on the county rate, that doesn't translate to your local tax rate. I think we probably represent about $1.30 on the Bangor tax rate. So it'd be like another 25 cents, but, you know, 25 cents on the Bangor tax rate is 25 cents. I just think we need to be cognizant, and I didn't mention it to Brewer when we were in Brewer yesterday, but if a municipality decides not to pay the county tax bill, we have the ability to lien the residences of the local elected officials. I don't think we've ever done that, and I'm not suggesting that, but just that we have a lot of authority when it comes to taxation, but I don't think we need to throw our weight around. I think we need to do what's responsible.
Yeah, I have a whole statute I can use as a tax collector. And I was amazed at that.
Well, the part of this equation that is important, and I think we embarked on it earlier this year, is how do we recognize the importance and the value of municipal partners in delivering the services that we need to deliver. I mean, the days where we can all go it alone are ending, and we have to find ways to collaborate. We've seen communities do that in this county with fire and EMS. We have seen the sheriff for many years find collaborative ways to work with communities for the law enforcement that they want. The big problem that we are wrestling with here is we have a correctional facility that is our responsibility, like it or not, that we have a financial obligation for that has to be served, at least for the short term until the state changes their policies. So let's start figuring out how we're going to do it. If anything comes along from state help, we can revisit this. But we've got to address what county needs are, and we've got to address it in cooperation with municipal partners. Maybe this should have been done several years ago. Here's where we are, and the clock's ticking right now. So my question to the commission is, what do you want to start with here? Do you want to start with the big chunks, being the budget for the sheriff and PRCC and others? I think as we look at that and reflect on the contractual arrangements, which make up close to 75% of those budgets, it's going to be very hard to find significant cost savings over the work that's already been done between the department heads and the administrator. They fully understood the problems, and I think for the most part, there have been few, if any, significant requests that have driven this budget. But that is my opinion, and I will leave it to you gentlemen to tell me where you would like to start in the discussion.
I'd like to start with the programs and people here, because, you know, there's a lot of them, and these are really and I hate to say it, but they're really insignificant amounts of the budget, so I think we can address these
Okay,
fairly easily. And people won't have to spend the whole day.
I understand, and I appreciate that respect. So program donations are Department 34.
Yeah, and Ryan has a few people online, so
Okay,
as you announce, if nobody from the gallery jumps up, thanks, Maria. Yeah, watch out for that corner.
may I ask the commission, how do you want to proceed? Recognizing that we're looking at, for 2026, $118,000 in this budget.
I would support the program donation request at the previous budget year level, no increases.
Okay. So you're saying that everything that is on this list you would support at the 2025 level?
Right. And if anybody that's not in that group wants to, I mean, there's people who called in, if they're part of the people asking for increases and want to try to make their case and whatnot.
Okay.
No second.
Okay. But we do not have a second regarding your motion. If, I want to be respectful of the folks who are here, but this is not a question of whether the importance of those organizations is in the balance. It's a question of the economics of this. So, do you want to go through the process of hearing from folks that we understand already have? Okay, so
Whatever you want, what does Commissioner Marshall, if he wants to cut some of these, or?
I think we should go through each one individually. There are some here that I'm going to want to see a reduction in, given the economic situation. Others I would support your approach. I could not support any increase on any of the requests, given the economic situation we're in.
So at this point, if I understand, there are 3 here that are requesting some level of increase. So we are all agreed that for this year, there would be no increases. At best, we would remain status quo. All right.
Correct.
So out of respect to those folks who are here, and the lines, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but I see that Bangor Interlibrary Service had made a small increase request of $1,000.
Yes,
Pine Tree Hospice had made a request of $500 increase. And the Together Place had made a $5,000 increase. So if we're going to do these, are you comfortable collectively declining to do any of those increases this year?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
All right, can I have a motion to
I
that
would so
effect?
move.
All right.
Second?
So at this point, there would be no need, and I'm saying this just out of respect to the agencies that may have other commitments today. There will be, for those 3 items, for bills, for Pine Tree Hospice, and for Together Place, there will be no need for public discussion because we will be voting to flatline those at this point. So with that, I have a motion and a second to not accept the increases requested by those 3 agencies. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have other agencies in here, so
break response being the first one.
Yep.
You want to tackle them?
how does the commission want, are we saying at this point that we would vote to flat fund these at the 2025 level? Are there other issues where you see a potential reduction in the program line?
I would anticipate a reduction.
Okay. Would you like to specify that reduction?
I think the Arundel Wildlife Refuge, we funded that increasingly. We gave them a ARPA grant for trails. I'm concerned that these organizations, I want to focus on those that service the entire county, not specific regional aspects of the county. There are numerous organizations here that would, could make application that have not, perhaps for various reasons. But we have a select number here of many worthy organizations. So in reviewing these, I want to look at those organizations that provide the biggest impact for county-wide. And the Arundel Refuge doesn't meet that requirement in my estimation.
So what would your motion be
I
regarding?
would drop it back to its original 5,000, which we had 2 years ago. I think it was 5,000.
It's been 20 years. I don't see a 10,000, I see 12,000 a whole lot of way across.
So-
Yeah, I'm seeing 10 as the lowest.
So what would your
21.
motion be today, to drop the Horrendo donation to 5,000?
Well, I mean, we've got to start biting the bullet here, and I know everybody likes to do
I
that.
understand that, but.
I would say 5,000.
Okay, so I have a motion for 5,000 for Horrendo in this coming year's budget. So it fails for a lack of a second. Okay. Other items that commissioners would like to make an individual motion on? Hearing none, at this point, we have a proposal which I believe Commissioner Trumbull would entertain
I
again.
would move flat funding for all the program donations.
And I would second that motion at this time.
Okay, we have a motion to flat fund all of the agencies currently listed on the Department 34 list at the 2025 level. I have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussion of the commission? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So there is a minor change that,
So what figure did you have on the, you had
in
118?
2025, you're at 111,500, and it was proposed this year for 1,118.
Okay.
So that
this
would be
one,
6,500 that we have.
that's the line you got, the 20%.
That's a reduction of 6,500.
Yep,
Yep.
we've got a ways to
I
go.
want to get sure that.
Okay. What is the next item that the commission would
Another
like?
2 million to go.
We'll continue on with 35 extension.
Okay. That would be Department 35, it would be your next one down. It's the Penobscot County Extension
You
Service.
might be online, Ryan, Teresa.
And for those of you who did come up, I don't show any disrespect for the time that you have put here, but the reality is we're faced with an economic issue that's gonna have to be dealt with. So that's how we're proceeding right now. Penobscot County Extension Service.
Traditionally, I know we funded different things. Did we change a few years ago? Is it a position we fund now with the extension service?
No.
What's that represent, amount?
Teresa probably could speak better to that. Can you hear us, Teresa?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Teresa,
you can.
you could share some information with the commission to help us understand what these funds are dedicated towards.
So the commissioners have funded us in the past. We have a small building expense. We have a yearly liability insurance coverage that is paid for from this budget. Our office and printing supplies, our biggest line item is salaries, which is driven by the University of Maine, where that's, who we fall under, and then our telephone bill. Our increase this year that we have asked for is to support the 4% increase that the university gave as across the board salary increases. And then the other issue that we've run into this year is our software that we have used for accounting purposes has gone all online. We use QuickBooks. And unfortunately, you can no longer purchase a CD that you just run on your computer. You have to do online, and it costs a monthly fee. Even that monthly fee is around $60 a month. So that's another budget item that we were not expecting. Currently, I have not gone online because I'm kind of against that. We're running off a 2017 CD currently.
Understood. So this is not your full operational budget. This is a portion that the county contributes for the work that you do that benefits the county. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Are you able to share with us today what your full budget amount is for your department?
I do not have those numbers from the university this year. They unfortunately changed a little bit on how they support, or not support, but roll out the numbers for our yearly spending. I can get them for you. But the university covers all of our professional staff in the office. They cover our building. They take care of all of our heat, electrical, all the building needs are covered by the university. This is basically supporting the support staff.
Now, is this only, I'm sorry, is this only Penobscot County that supports you, Teresa, or is this a portion of support that comes from other counties as well?
No, this is only supported by Penobscot County because this is only for the Penobscot County office. Each county is represented by extension, and each county commissioners support their own county in their own way.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions from the commission? Do we have a motion regarding Department 35?
Well, I would just say, Mr. Chairman, I think they do great work, the extension, they benefit the whole county. I initially was leaning towards flat funding this, but if it does support, if this money supports support staff as well, I'm okay with the amount that's budgeted of $105,378. So I would move that amount.
We have a motion for 105,378.
That's the standard last year, no increase, correct?
4% COLA for salaries and some additional costs, as she mentioned, related to software and other expenses.
No, decline the second.
Okay, so we are not prepared to vote on Department 35 at this point.
Well, I think we should, I mean, if there's not gonna be a second, I'll support the flat funding. I think we gotta get this done today.
That's what I'm gonna be going with, is flat funding
Okay, so Department
across the board.
35, we have a motion, I believe, from Commissioner Trumbull, or from Commissioner Marshall.
At the 100,360.
Yeah, 100,360.
Okay,
Second.
have a motion and a second to fund at the 2025 level. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That would be a $5,018 savings over the proposed 26 budget, correct?
Almost, yeah.
Next department.
Thankless, yeah.
Okay,
Which department?
Ryan,
we're
go
looking at
online for papers.
36, Department 36.
Oh, Penguins.
There is a $25,000 request as what was in line with last year.
Can we move approval?
Second.
Is there anything you want to share? Okay,
Just that this is money they can use. I think it's used a lot of time in matches and things like that, so it's very beneficial.
is there anything you might want to disclose publicly?
I no longer thank this board.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion,
Moved.
25,000, second?
Second?
Okay. Move in second, is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is flat funded. Next, labor negotiations is fairly easy, that is 39.
38. Soil competition.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
Solar conservation, 38. Department, yeah, 38.
Okay, so Department 38, we have a slight increase, well, not,
Yeah, all of that is contractual.
So we are unable to flat fund that, is that?
It's a
Yeah.
contribution to HSA,
Yeah.
something to them.
Well, I think the HSA account is new because we have changed our health insurance, and it has helped us to reduce the insurance premiums by doing that. So what we're looking at here is a slight increase, which is related to health insurance.
Contractual health insurance requirement.
And I think if you look at line 47-2400, employee insurance, that was down from, well, that's just year-to-date though, isn't it? That doesn't account for what the full balance would be. So there potentially is a slight increase next year, but lower than what it has been the last 3 years.
Yeah, that actual number in there is actual to year end, but that one, like I said, this one is not accurate. It's actually much less. So that's why the 47,348 projected for next year.
Okay.
Yeah, along with the health insurance savings.
Yep.
And the shift to the HSA, so.
Okay. So there's nothing else that, if I understand what it said, these are contractual arrangements, so we really
Yeah,
have no control over this?
yeah, and you'll see that the actuals estimated, although when I adjusted health insurance, is gonna be around 107.7. That the current budget, I'm hoping health insurance, again, trying to get things down, they would cut it close. So, yeah, in that department, there's no room.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion regarding Department 38.
I move we approve.
Approve with the adjusted figure that the administrator shared with us, 107,700.
Yeah,
Okay, motion second, further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 your budget number will remain the same, Chair, it's the actuals that I was adjusting, so the 106,610 is still,
Thank you.
yep.
Now we would move on to labor negotiations or labor relations. That budget appears to be flat.
Move approval?
Motion. Second, Department 39, approved for the 26 budget. There's no change. Wage adjustments, Department 40.
I heard a motion and second, but I didn't hear a vote.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yes.
yes.
3-0.
Okay. Yep, 40?
There's $5,000 in the budget line. That appears to be what was in place for last year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous on Department 40. That's the end of the book, but not the end of our work. Let's move back. What do we start with first, gentlemen? We want to start with Department 2? Or do you want to start somewhere else?
We didn't forget about you, Lee, you need to be here on another item that's in the agenda, so I figured the workforce contract, the economic development contract. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's going to take a while unless the commission, did we?
I believe you want Lee here, or Lee
Well,
wants to be here?
certainly, I just want to make him aware that if
Yep.
we're going to continue through the budget,
Right.
we could certainly have Marion or someone notify him when we get to that point in the agenda. Or if it's the pleasure of the commission, we could move out of order and take some of those other items.
That's fine. Out of respect for Lee's time, I think we should
Okay.
You want to do 30 and then
amend
do the,
and bring him up now.
Jump
Before
off
we get
those.
into it, let's do the remainder. Did we add the executive session at the beginning?
We did.
Okay.
Two.
Okay, so if we move back to the agenda, taking things out of order, just to be respectful for those who have other things going on. We did not do the property update, and we're
Yep.
not prepared to do that, or we
We
are?
haven't done that.
Yeah, A, B, C, D, E are all done, G is all done.
Okay.
We're at F right at the
We're
moment.
at F, okay. So at this point, we would be looking at moving to what I would call, it doesn't have a letter, but it would be item D, which is the Katahdin Economic Development Contract.
That's under F, Commissioner, is one of the lines under F.
Thank you.
It's the fourth item under F.
Yeah, so it would be number
Maybe
4
some-
under F, I guess.
After the discussion, George still here? You call it, George is here. Yeah, after the recommendation of the TIP committee and the meeting we had in East Millinocket and the regional meetings and the success or non-success that position has had since it started. I think it started out with great intention. The position itself didn't work out as well as it should have. I would support not continuing that position at this time and continue to work with the Katahdin region on some regional economic development initiatives.
So your motion would be not to continue the contract at this time
Right.
until a
Or not for a position,
Alternative.
right, yeah.
solution, okay.
Yeah, I want to preface my second by what we plan to do. I've been in contact, discussion with people up in the Katahdin area region. They're going to come back to us with a proposal, Lee, and you're in agreement with that.
Yes.
So what I think we're going to do is let this current proposal expire at the end, not renew the contract, and go into negotiations about what in the future we do develop up there. You're based on your recommendation and funding recommendations, and those talks will be ongoing. So this is simply we can't possibly, in the time remaining, amend the current contract. So we'll just let it expire and look to investigate establishing a new contract pending those negotiations.
And do I understand correctly that that contract ends December 1st?
No, November 6th is a written
November
contract.
6th. Thank you, George.
Okay, so it's, okay.
Yeah.
So we
I will
could-
second that motion of ending the contract, not renewing, I guess.
Not renewing.
Not renewing.
So we have a motion to not renew at this time the contract with Katahdin Economic Development Director. Further discussion? Seeing none.
Just one thing I would add as caveat, just that people think we're making budget cuts. It doesn't help our budget at all. This money all came from the money we get for the Katahdin Woods and Waters from the national government, the federal government, and from money we get from a wind project in an organized territory. So it doesn't help our budget situation, but it's the right thing to do.
This is separate from the regular county budget.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of not renewing the contract for this position at this time?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. Thank you for your attendance here, sir. We look
You
forward
wanna-
to hearing
He
back.
still has.
You want to do it with the EMDC, Department 30? Or
Oh,
are we shutting back out?
yeah, again, Department 30 is the EMDC.
Oh, yeah, while he's here, yeah.
This may
Hello,
be fairly
President.
simple, I think, based on what you're doing, but thank you for being here today.
Mr. Chairman, if I can just reiterate what Commissioner Marshall just said about, he's had conversations with folks up there since the meeting the commissioners had, and I think they've been really fruitful. Charlie Prey with the KRDB and Shane Flynn and some folks from Patton, they're all getting together. They've had several meetings, and they're giving updates to me at EMDC. And I think coming up with a strategy that's really going to help the entire region, and it's a good way to go. 7 years ago, this was created, and there's been 3 people in that position, and I think there's been some success, but the value of you folks going up there a couple of weeks ago, and of them meeting, and you, Commissioner, meeting with them to follow up, all the feedback I'm getting is they're energized, and I think, and Chairman, you made the point at the meeting up there, that you folks need to see more cooperation among the different towns in the region, and I think that's coming forward.
Great. Well, certainly hope that they can be an example for others. I think there are a lot of good people seeking a discussion of how they deliver those services in cooperation, so we'll look forward to hearing that.
Good.
Moving on to budget item
Thank you, Lee.
Department 30.
Approval is presented.
So as I understand it, we are looking at 63,000, which is the same as 25, so that would be in
Yep.
keeping with.
Yep,
I think it's 65,000.
and remember, 63 with 2 comes from Pell.
Oh, right,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so that's a difference.
I know, I gotta remind you every year.
Every year.
Every year.
So anyway, and Commissioner Trumbull made the point about Penquist. This money is valuable for lots of ways. It helps reinforce the work we're doing, and the letter I gave to you guys kind of lays out everything we're doing with workforce, small business, economic development. But this funds are used to leverage other funds, and matching funds are really the hurdle we face all the time, and given changes in Washington,
Yes.
there's less opportunity, but they're increasing the amount of matching funds, which conceptually they want to see skin in the game from local people, but it makes it inconceivable for organizations to access those funds. So this is really important, and
I don't want to be abrupt, but I
Yeah.
think you realize the reality here is we're not asking for the value of what you do. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're faced with some challenges, so right
Right.
now, I think we're prepared to do a motion for last year.
Yeah, I just have a question on how we got to the breakdown of the 63 and 2. Not that it would make a huge difference, but is there a way we could do more from the bill, make it 50, can we do 55?
I believe it's 50, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, it's Pell.
It is, though.
Can we change it? It's not a huge amount, but can we do 55 and 10? They're the same total amount, but can we take,
Oh, I
how do we
see.
get,
Oh.
how do we come up with 2 from the bill?
I don't understand what you're asking.
More from the PILT and less from the property taxpayers of the town county.
You want to set this aside for further discussion?
Well, I'm just wondering how we came up with the two.
It was never really explained, it was inherited when I came
All
back.
right,
and,
well, let's for this year, let's just
Yeah.
keep it the same.
Yeah.
You know, I don't-
Well, let's look into it, but let's fund them at the current
Right,
level.
yeah.
I'd make the motion that we approve.
I would assume probably the same thing, instead of 65, let's
yeah.
do 2 from Pell and lower it a little bit, but.
Okay, good.
Okay. So we have a motion to do 63 in the budget
Right,
from Department 30.
Right.
That's the motion that everyone is agreeing to, 63.
well, but I think it should include the 2 from the Pell. Yeah,
Total
yeah,
of 65.
right.
Okay. So we have a motion for 65, 2,000 from Phil, 63,000 from property tax.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous.
Well,
Thank you for being here.
And just 2 last things, you talked about.
Quickly.
Yeah, I'm really fast. Cooperation with municipalities and others, and EMDC is a true partner with Penobscot County, kind of reinforcing that, so we're gonna continue doing that. And I just want to recognize Scott as administrator. He's been a real good guy, not just the EMDC, but in the region. And folks really appreciate all the work you've done for Penobscot County.
We do appreciate those kind thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right, moving to 31, loan and interest. At this point, this would be reflected on what we are borrowing for
This your
TAN,
baby
correct?
This your
Say it
baby.
again?
This interest is TAN, or is it TAN and
Oh,
other?
yes,
Yeah, it's a PRCC bond.
excuse me, yes.
Move approval is presented.
I have a motion to approve the interest in Department 31 as presented
Second.
for 2026. That is down slightly, which is encouraging, but we don't know what the ultimate TAN will be,
Right,
so
right.
this is projected. Okay.
I
Further
like that
discussion?
direction.
Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Department 31 is funded at the recommended level. Department 32, building improvements, parking lot and building improvements. We're carrying the same number that we carried in 2025, $120,000.
Approval is presented.
Motion to approve,
Second.
second, further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
32 is approved for the 26 proposal. We've done Department 34.
So I would recommend, Chair, that we go back to the beginning, and
you.
I can help kind of guide. So Department 2, HR really had no Outstanding items, again,
We're back to the front of the book, so Department 2.
Department 2 HR, yeah. There are a couple of increases, just for public awareness. We were shifting to, we've lowered some employee costs and shifting to some technology with an HRIS system, which also flows into management of documents and employee benefits. It also includes some payroll aspects to it, which should definitely help streamline things. Again, back to payroll this year, where if you remember, last year, we moved to a new HSA program. This year, we went out to bid for broker services, which reduced that cost substantially. So, Chair.
Yep, thank you. So HR department has done, in our estimation, a good job in stabilizing the issues we've had with workforce turnover in the past. The technology, as I understand, integrates with our payroll system, which is a potential time saving. Glenn, do you have anything you would like to share since you worked on this?
I'm all set. Yeah.
Okay. And you have a recommendation based upon what was initially presented to us?
Right, yeah, it's in our budget. Yeah.
Even though there is a 38.25% increase here, when you offset the savings that they were able to identify in the insurance, it ends up being somewhat of a net savings, if I understood it correctly.
Yes, to the tune of close to, I'd say $75,000, $80,000 overall. Health insurance expenses are throughout the budget. Each department, as you see, will have a line. So it's really hard to articulate, or show you the true savings with it. And as well, the broker fees are in this line in this department as well. So that's part of the substantial increase.
Okay. So regarding Department 2, I would entertain a motion.
It'll be approved.
Move to approve?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I have a question.
Okay.
Looks like
For purposes of discussion, or are you
I
comfortable?
guess I just
making a
got
second?
duplicate pay, second. I
Okay.
guess I got duplicate pages.
You might have a prior version of that, yeah. We didn't.
I just need the bottom line of this, is it 326,000,
188.
and that's with the money we're paying out to the broker as well as money we're paying for the new.
Well, the broker, if I'm not mistaken, is socialized over each of the departments that have insurance, is that correct? Or
No, the broker fees are in this department.
Okay,
yeah.
but the savings is.
The savings are throughout,
Right.
They are reflected in the,
right.
The major cost here that comes in as a new line item is the broker fees. And then the increase in the
Technology.
budget is the technology, which.
So it's a net difference of under $42,000, am I reading this right?
Net difference of, so.
And
so
from last
one-
year's budget?
It's $108,000 increase.
Yeah, so if you're looking, maybe you have an older page that's still in your book.
what's the bottom
Right here,
line?
this.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
What's the bottom line?
The bottom line is an increase over last year's budget of 108,835.
Yeah, all right.
But that includes, more than half of that, I think, includes the broker fees, which have typically not been in that department in the past.
Correct. Yep, broker fees were
So total-
67 too.
Total savings around 70,000, is that right?
Estimated, yes.
So as we move forward, I have a motion, and I believe I have a second, on what is budgeted for 2026, which has the increase for those designated items. Any further discussion on this budget item? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous. Department 2. Department,
Thank you.
thank you for your time and work on this.
So Department 3 revenues, EMA revenues, that's unfortunately pretty static, again, due to state funding. I believe EMA is here to, there they are.
Are there any questions for EMA regarding their revenues, or are you happy with them?
Oh, they're doing the best with what they got.
Okay. So
Commendable.
do we have a motion to that effect regarding the revenues for the agency? Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Well, you just said revenue, don't we?
This is revenue.
Right, don't we do the whole budget? We don't usually do revenue.
Okay.
You can do them both at the same time if you wish, or what,
Fair
yeah?
enough. All right, on expenses. We have the expense budget here, which, if I am correct, is a increase of 3.39%. Some of the items that they have presented previously are highlighted here. Are there any questions for EMA regarding any of the line items? That it's an 18,300, roughly just under $18,400 increase from last year.
The only question I had in my notes was over the part-time finance person, continuing on the previously agreed to increase in number of hours that was done a month ago.
Went from, to 29, what was it from? Up to, it was from 25 to 29, was it a 4-hour increase?
It was a 5-hour increase.
5-hour increase. And that's the same, correct?
Yes, that's the same, that's reflected.
So I got a couple of questions on some of the expenditures. I mean,
Chris, if you would like to come forward.
we haven't previously had this match, and here we've got a $20,000 amount for match. We've got up on the vehicle reserve. I'm just concerned about any increases, communications, any of these increases, other than the personnel increase.
Sure. So the $20,000 grant match funding request is new this year. It's been previewed that the potential to take advantage of Homeland Security grant funding, which represents over $300,000 coming to the county as well as departments in our county. The number varies each year. But it's been previewed that there may be a 25% cost match. So this number is captured just to have the funds in order for the county projects to have the local cost match. So if we're putting in an $80,000 worth of projects, or $80,000, we would need this amount of money for our local match to be able to leverage those funds. So that's what that
So
is.
this is our skin in the game, that we
Yes.
ask everybody else to do.
Which would not be expended if we don't get the grant.
Yeah, correct.
Right, so we get, we spend 40 and get, 100 back or something like that, or?
Yeah, so, right.
Good investment.
Okay.
Well, here's the
What
other
other
quarter to
questions?
spend, and we don't have money to spend.
Okay.
Yeah, there are more
So-
questions on this one?
So you are making a motion for passage of the 2026 budget as presented by the department.
Of EMA, correct?
Do I have a second for that?
Well, I just want, I mean, 20,000, it sounds like a lot, it sounds like a great idea if we get a match, but at some point, we've got to start making some decisions, and we don't have money to even spend for matches, I think. I don't think we got the money, and we just got 8,000 here, 5,000 there. You're talking between the vehicle increase, I only support the vehicle increase. I'm not gonna support any increases, we're talking a huge impact on the taxpayers. I'll support the personnel increases, but I'm not gonna support any other increases.
Okay. Just for the record, you have supported increases so far in some of your votes.
Can I make a recommendation?
Not part of the personnel, I don't believe.
On the 20,000, would it be a new program? Would you consider finding another source if still funding it if the option comes available? Again, where it's kind of new, but not putting it in the budget. So for instance, could be PILT, could be ARPA interest, could be a number of things.
As long as you have access to the money to qualify for matching funds for a project that we need, that's what I think the commissioners are looking for. Where that comes from, I mean, Dan, in deference to
Oh,
you.
they came up with something.
Yeah, if we
find
have other
money.
sources, that would be the route to go at this point.
But this would be a backup if that was not a possibility, is that correct?
No, what I'm suggesting is to eliminate that 20,000 this year. And having a discussion here that they support it, that you're aware of the support, so you can bring it back later and remind them.
Okay.
But yeah, to reduce the budget would be to eliminate the 20,000. It's a new approach. A lot of unknowns in I was gonna say in Augusta, but in
Yeah,
the
for
feds.
sure.
More the feds, but yeah, so.
So may I ask this question? Are there grants you are currently applying for in which you would need some of this money as our match?
No.
Okay.
And yet,
I'm sorry, let me just be clear. There are grants, this one grant is strictly for the Homeland Security grant. The grant that we've applied for FY '25 does not include, federal fiscal year '25 does not include a match. This is anticipation for federal fiscal year '26 potentially having a match. So that grant application has not been made yet, so if that is a question you're asking, the answer is no.
Have we historically applied for that grant?
Every single year. Much of our department and departments we serve benefit from that funding. By it's a lot of money. You know, the sheriff's office, municipalities, our office, some of the equipment that we have. Up until this Tahoe, this vehicle year, all of our vehicles have come from that funding. So yeah, every single year, that is a fund that comes to Maine Emergency Management with a requirement that 80% of it be passed to locals, and their mechanism of doing that is passing it through the counties. Some counties distribute funds to support local programs directly. Some keep it all for themselves to support local programs as they see fit. We do a hybrid of both.
Okay, so we have historically pulled down grant money using matching funds.
No, so the matching would be the new element of it. And it's unknown whether that's going to be an actual thing. But from my position here, I need to prepare so if that does happen, that we have some sort of funding.
And you're doing your diligence.
Yes, sir.
It's now up to us to decide whether we want to pretend that we're not going to need that money by not putting it in the budget and finding it elsewhere.
We'll find it elsewhere.
Okay, I just want the commission to be clear that we have a number of communities sitting in the room that are going to look at our budget and wonder, is that what it's going to be for the year, or are we going to have to find alternative sources because we're cutting the budget? And I'm fine with offering that same alternative, but I think we need to be transparent to our municipal partners as to how we're going to pursue some of these things. Because this does, if I understand you correctly, this does affect municipal departments.
It affects municipal departments in the way that we can provide services to them, yes.
Okay. So it doesn't affect the grant monies that they may potentially be.
That's correct.
Okay.
Actually, I would actually make a motion to flat fund everything on the capital equipment. I mean, there's also increased communications and motor vehicles as well.
Okay. So you're making a motion to flat fund the budget.
And the capital equipment.
Okay. And that would include communications and vehicles?
Right. So that would put that at 20 and 8.
And that motor vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, is going into the reserve account, is it not?
Yes, those are all reserved accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we're going to get away from a policy of properly funding reserve accounts.
No, we rented it 20, we did 12 2 years ago, 20 last year. And I'm just saying we keep it at 20 the next year instead of going 25.
Okay. Okay. So the motion has an amendment to reduce the 2026 budget by 25,000, if I'm understanding this, 20 for grants, 5 for vehicles? Or are you looking at
20, 25, and then 3,000 off.
Where's the 5 for the vehicle? See that on
So
there?
we're still leaving 20,000 in the budget for the reserve fund for the vehicle.
Correct.
But
All right,
a motion would reduce that line to 20,000.
okay, yeah, I see, yeah, from 20 to 25.
And
So the
then-
savings 5 there, and the savings for the
And then we would
20,000
reduce,
grant funding would be a total of 25?
And 3 more from communication.
and then he's also saying reducing that back to 8,000 on the communications line just above it. So everything in yellow that you saw on that page, David,
Yeah.
here and here, these two are being reduced and that's being reduced.
Yeah, so what that does is that effectively ends up not just flat funding, it'll be a reduction.
Yeah, his budget's now reduced by almost 2%.
So
That's
it'll
flat,
be a
it's flat.
reduction of 2%, not
Overall.
overall.
Okay. There are 3 other items here. Are you comfortable leaving those line items that are highlighted in yellow? Okay, so we're looking at a net change here of 28,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Well, I have 25,000 with the addition.
The three came out of communications, so go back to that
Same
page.
as last year.
You got two yellow items.
So you've got
Okay, there's 25 there.
11,000.
And a three,
it was
okay,
8
yeah.
last year.
Okay, yeah, so that's, so it'll be a savings of 28, is it actually a reduction of 2%, Scott?
No, it's increased to $486. Right.
So Department 3,
Overall, it's a negative.
It's a negative, okay, I can go with that, yeah.
so we have a motion with a friendly revision, which I believe is accepted, to reduce Department 3 by 28,000 from what was presented to us.
Correct.
Is that correct? Correct. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Chris.
Department 4. DRCC.
I think the revenues are basically what the
I think we'll have a discussion, but
Yeah.
we're reflecting on where we're at in the expense lines. Do we have any,
Is there any question about the revenue?
let's
We've got an executive session about that after.
Let's talk about the expenses right now.
All right.
So, within here, you have contractual services that impact a percentage of your budget.
Correct.
Chris, if you'd like to come up in case
Is it
there are
safe?
questions.
It's
I think
safe.
it's safe.
Had to ask.
We're trying to be friendly, even if we won't.
It's all right.
Okay, the health savings account, I think, speaks for itself. It's an effort that has proven to be beneficial overall to the premium increases. So are there other items within the line here that you need explanation on before we accept the motion? The overall budget is 3.36% at this point.
So whatever motion you make probably should be contingent upon any changes or adjustments from that, because it's not just gonna be revenue, right? There'll be expenses to collect that revenue, possibly, hope not,
That's part
or
of
for
what
later
We're
discussion.
gonna have that discussion.
Okay.
So I don't know if we
Should we
want
wait?
I think it probably would be
Yeah.
fairly appropriate. So at this point, we will move on from Department 4 until we've had the opportunity to discuss that. in
to, this for next week.
Maybe
Nope.
next week,
Later.
later today.
I'm hoping later today, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
We're working on the budget today.
Sounds good.
Do you think, will it be an offset or as close to
Let's
gainers or losers?
wait, we can certainly talk about this in executive session.
It's dicey out there.
Thank you very much. At this point, I believe we're moving on to Department 5.
Yep. It's,
Oh, yeah.
We're all here.
His Excellency.
Yeah, don't be starting that. Holy Moses.
Department 5.
We have that at the end of the
No
day.
chance that revenues are gonna change, huh?
Good morning.
Okay, does the commission have any questions related to the budget presented, which, if I'm not mistaken, came in at about 5.84%? There are some additional positions that are being requested.
No, my only observation is that that part of this increase is based on the need for the DA for the clerical position necessary for the operation of the budget, and I just want to make note that that is a very valid increase that I support.
Say I would agree with the comments of the commission. I would support the COLA increases. And I think the case is made for the position. I just can't unfortunately support a new position in this budget year. I think we've got to make some tough decisions this year. I think that's one. I don't want to treat this office like some of the counties have treated the DA's office and just give you a $1 budget for next year. I don't favor that at all, I want you to know. I'm not a big fan of this year of any new positions. I appreciate the cases are made for the increases you need, I fully support those.
Well, my assessment is that, although I concur in the general statement here, we have to provide you with the staff and the people necessary to do the job that we expect you and ask you to do. And in keeping with that, we have to understand this is going to incur this position. And it's not out of wistful spending. It's out of the necessity to do the job and get the job done, and you do a remarkable job there, considering the situation we have with the state. I give you kudos there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Trimble, anything further?
I'm finding it humorous that I'm the fiscal conservative in this group.
Oh, fiscal conservative does not mean,
Do you have a motion you'd like to present?
does not mean sticking your head in the sand.
Commissioner Marshall, do you have a motion you would like to
I
present?
move we accept the budget as proposed.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? At this point, we do not have a second for that motion. Do we have an alternate motion, or do we need, we're gonna have to deal with these today, so.
Yeah, it's fine.
So,
I'm waiting
just
to hear the motion.
If I could update you, on personnel, now that you've reached this point. So originally you had 85,000 in there for a request for the assistant department head, to the department head. Since then, they came to see me, and I'll let Chelsea or Christine explain it further. But the new number that's in there, that I just plugged in, is about 6,700 less, and it's 77,341. And I'll let you speak to that, Christine.
Okay, well, I'm not the best with the numbers, but what I understand it to be is 4%, 4%, and 4%, one of which is a raise she's already gonna get, just naturally.
Just, the cat's already left the bag, but are we supposed to be talking about these type of things in relation to?
Well, I told you I shouldn't. I just.
I think when you're talking about it with the budget,
It is, okay.
you're talking about it with the position, but
Okay.
just so that you know.
We're
Now,
talking about the position, not the.
if you're not in approval and it needs to go deeper, then yes, I would advise it.
Well, let's just say hypothetically, one of the 4% she's already gonna
Already
get.
beyond that.
I mean, I think we really do need another position, but in general, I think that, you know, it's not right we should pay the people we have what they're worth. I think Christine's pay is,
Yeah, well, it's.
sorry, I think the office manager pay is too low. So I understand where we're at, but.
I appreciate the advocacy, and our problem is we have to deal with this on the position, not the individual and the overall work. And we're faced, as you can see, with some real challenges right now. So I had a motion. Do we have an alternate recommendation from the commission?
The original number in that chair would be about 4,000 less.
On that position?
Seeing no second, I would move that we approve the budget with the adjustment to that assistant department head and the elimination of the new position.
Okay, so we have a motion to make the adjustment as presented to the administrator and to remove the additional position proposed in this budget. Do I have a second?
Come back with it next year.
I will second and tuck my tail.
So the total savings, are you able to give us a?
48,000.
How much?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Around 48.
I'm trying to collect this as we start to tally.
While you're doing a tally, while we got this group here, I just want to point out that Maine prosecutors just had the convention, and one of our assistant TA was recognized for the award at the conference. What was the award again?
Making a difference.
Making a difference.
And that's
Just by
our
keeping the
cracker
DA
jack
in mind.
deputy DA, let me tell you, that's quite a job she did.
Thank you,
We are really proud.
thank you.
But we are appreciative of what we have working for us here. And we are sorry that during this year, we are faced with making decisions that are not all we would perhaps hope. But
You know, this, I do want to add on that, this was not easy. I mean, you guys do a great job in your office. I don't think you come forward with frivolous requests, so this is just an extraordinary budget year. So it was difficult for me not to support that position.
Thanks for the comments.
so at this point, we have a motion to reduce the Department 5 budget by approximately $48,000.
So I need some clarity back on the office manager position. The vote was to leave as in the budget.
No, leave as you made, as a major adjustment, leave the increase in the,
Okay.
use this as less than the.
Yep, okay, good, yep.
So we still at a reduction of 48,000, roughly.
Not only that, 48.
It's an increase of 128, basically, right?
Well, from what is proposed for
That's what I'm saying.
26, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in
About
confusion.
about 41,000 at this point. Well, it'll be 48 off your books because you had the 85, so, yes, 48,000. There'll be some other
I'm not
minor with
looking to hold
benefits,
you to the
but,
penny.
No,
I'm
okay.
just trying to figure
and you're
out.
good to go.
Okay. So with that, we have a motion to approve Department 5 with the reduction of approximately $48,000 from the request for 2026. Are both gentlemen comfortable? At this point, is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you for your time.
Thank
and your
you.
work.
Sorry.
No. We're all in this.
Who's the office manager?
Department 6, County Commissioners. At this point, I had made a proposal, there's only one significant increase in here, if I understand correctly. It is the admin software, which is a
Be a portion of that, yeah.
the portion for this, so that increased our budget. I would propose that we not receive a COLA and that we reduce commissioners' stipends by an additional 6% going into the 2026 budget. Somebody would like to make that as a motion, or do you want me to make the motion and I would await a second?
I will make the motion.
Okay. Commissioner Trimble, would you?
Well, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but I just think it's already so insignificant. I just don't really think it has an impact on the budget, really, so. And we're not making any cuts anyplace else, really, we're just keeping it as is or going along with COLA. So, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, I'm sorry, but I think it's kind of insignificant.
What's that constitute a second?
The chair will second that. Is there further discussion? I appreciate the sentiment. I think personally, the reason for me is if we're going to ask other people, we have to lead by example. So while it is a minute count in regards to everything that we're dealing with here, we have some responsibility to share in the burden. So
you're proposing we cut everybody by 6%?
no, I think if you look at how we voted here, we have taken things selectively and given due diligence. I think in the commissioner's budget, if there are other items that somebody would like to highlight that we could adjust, I am certainly welcoming that as an option too.
What's the additional computer program?
That is, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that admins?
Yeah.
HRIS and admin, so HRIS is the HR apportionment.
Right, how come it didn't go into HR?
There's a,
Timekeeping piece.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
One.
So as you remember, in addition to the commissioners, there are other administrative costs associated with this department.
we broke it up the same way we did, we have historically with Trio and the old
Right.
timekeeping system, so, yeah.
Are there other items, again, that you would like to reflect on in the Department 6 County Commissioners budget?
Yeah, the rest of them are flat. What would the reduction be with the, do you have a roughing what the recommended,
Overall, it's roughly
Yep, we'll
10%.
Yep, It's about 12,000.
So it'll be a 10% reduction?
Overall, it would be approximately that, which would,
All right.
12,000 or 1,200? 12.
I get 12,000. Yeah, I don't seem high, but,
There's a 6%.
oh, you went 6%, 6% under, and then the 4%, so, yeah.
5,500 bucks
5,500 less, is that what comes to going?
for county offices, right?
So Department 6, we are looking at a $5,500 approximate reduction for the 2026 proposal. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Okay. Department 7, Finance. I think in regards to this department, if I'm not mistaken, the major increases are again related to the admin software. There are some payroll services. Do we need a further explanation on any of the other?
Why do we have 2 pages?
You may have an older version of the, so what you should be looking at, if I'm not mistaken, is the page that shows you a
Yeah, this is the one that's
68,018.
1029, that's a 10-1.
Yeah.
This is the,
On the bottom, you would see a date as the most current pages. See it down here?
oh, this would be, well, it just has the year, doesn't have a date. Oh, 10-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, there are some auditing services issues
10-21, okay, these
catch
two.
up, so that reflects in the auditing fees.
All right, now we've got it up to date.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a motion regarding Department 7?
I move we approve Department 7.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so there is zero change in Department 7. Department 8, Buildings, County Buildings. In this budget, we are looking at a few changes. The overall increase, if I'm not mistaken, is 2.12%.
Correct, yep. Nothing really that stood out here.
There was an adjustment
Reviews.
in maintenance, but that was based on actuals. There's an adjustment to a couple other lines based on some of the actual expenses that the administrator's been able to track from prior years. There is, I guess, a slight, well, no, it's the same, the 25,000 for rubbish removal is. That's based on volume, I believe, so it may,
It does fluctuate monthly, yes.
but not significantly
Uh,
so far.
$300 to $500 a month sometimes. but-
Demo would be included in any construction contract that we have for projects, would it not?
Correct.
Okay. All right,
There's talking about cataract, demo is in.
that's because it would be on a capital project, so it doesn't fall in our regular operating costs.
Okay, great. All right.
Any further discussion on Department 8?
Move approval is presented.
Have a approval on Department 8 and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. And there is a zero change in Department 8. Now we jump to Department 10, if I'm not mistaken, deeds. Probably shouldn't mess with people who generate revenue.
Yeah,
And
this is what I was like.
presented a budget that had no significant increases, if I'm not mistaken. You're looking at overall a 2.58% increase. Any questions for these? Please.
Susan, on your revenue, we budgeted 1.1, which is the same as this year. You projected to do over 1.3. Last 2024 was 1.25. I know there's some changes in what you're charging. What do you think will be at the same level in '26 as we're at in 25, I mean, would you be comfortable if we budgeted 1.2 for revenue, or do you think we should stick to 1.1?
So we did 1.2 a couple years ago, and I was just barely squeaking it in at the very end of the year. So we backed it off to the 1.1, and that was much more comfortable for me. I felt like, yes, we're gonna get there. As you said, we have new fees coming. We also have, the state has adjusted some of our transfer tax income. So it's really up in the air for me this year because I don't know if those new fees are gonna offset the loss in transfer tax.
Yeah, all right, I mean, I think we'll wait a year to see how those shake out.
I think it's a valid discussion based on what she's been able to deliver in the past, but it is the whole new world.
It is a whole new world.
Have you started to tally up how many millionaire mansions there might be in?
No, but we are getting some $1 million sales this week, and the new fees go into effect Saturday. So people are squeaking in under the wire.
And move approval as presented.
Have a motion to approve Department 10 as presented. Have a second, further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous of those present.
Thank you very much.
No change on Department 10. Thank you for being here. I believe we're at Department 12. Okay.
Number 11.
Oh, did I skip one? I'm sorry. I apologize, and the registrar very promptly joined us.
Yeah.
At this point in the budget, there are revenues here, and are there some fee changes that may affect your volume in the future that you're aware of?
Not currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are a couple of decreases, thank you very much. There is a request for a 24-hour a week, which is partially funded by surcharges. A couple of other adjustments based on actuals. Do we have any questions for the registrar at this point on her budget? It shows, if I'm not mistaken, 0.01% increase.
Yes.
You want to mess with that?
No, I'm looking at that figure, it looks good.
Do I have a motion?
It's very good. I move we approve.
Have a motion to approve, have a second, further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of Department 11 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous, thank you for being here. Department 11 is a zero change. Department 12, this would be the Sheriff's Department. The portion that probably generates, outside of property taxes, the most revenue in the county. Do we have any questions regarding the proposed budget that we went through with the sheriff? There are a couple of items here. There is a new position adjustment, is it, Sheriff, in the stipends? And then there is the computer services, that's Power DMS, Power Time. So this is a portion allocated over different departments? Because don't other departments use Power DMS?
Yep.
Hey, can I just point one thing out?
Please.
Because, I mean, we've gone through quite a few budgets here. I mean, some of these have been very minimal, some we flat funded, some, I mean, I haven't seen anything yet over 3%. I really gotta see a better breakdown. We get to the end, how we got to, if you take out the jail cap, we're talking a 6% increase in the budget. I'm not finding that so far. I mean, are we seeing 2 or 3% increases in all these budgets?
As we progress.
Yeah, I mean, there must be some budgets in here that have a significant increase, because I haven't seen how we get to a 6% increase there.
Well, I think you've got to look at it in the aggregate dollars that you are applying in here. While the percentages may not be higher, there are some variations that are going to affect the bottom number.
That's what I'm getting, that's not seeing it.
I think it's healthy that you're asking those questions. I don't think that we can overlay the total budget increase on any one group of departments.
No, just making sure we're not missing something.
Yeah, you've got summary sheets in the front of your books that will break that down for you. Yeah.
So in regards to the sheriff, I guess the only thing I would highlight here, he has been very conscientious in continuing the appropriate levels of reserves for key equipment while not over projecting some of those. I think this year you're in a slight down cycle in the number of vehicles you need to acquire, but that is based upon some historical data that you have.
That's the historical data, and then also the use that, where it was needed, there was some ARPA funding that helped with some equipment that supported the vehicles. And we projected that out, so it's not something that, while we were able to decrease next year, we have to jack it up the year after. That's not true. We know we have, 30 years worth of data on how to cycle out vehicles. So we feel comfortable.
And the change to the type of vehicles you're using now are all Tahoes?
Yes.
And that has had some derivative benefits too.
It takes our agency almost 8 years to cycle through all of the vehicles, so it'll be years. We don't go out and buy 40 new vehicles, as you know. So it takes nearly 8 years, and then, because we cycle those into spares, we cycle them into to assist the jail with transports, those type of things, trading cars.
And the new system you employed several years ago with the auction has increased the return on those vehicles.
It's been very helpful.
And that goes into reserve accounts now?
That's right. 4 vehicles, that's helped us offset cost of vehicle issues. Also, in those vehicles, in that line item, it should be noted, because unfortunately, the supply and demand of the vehicles that are being purchased, that includes the equipment. So when you divide the amount that we've put into the vehicle, that's partially equipped. That's a huge difference that it's been beneficial, I think, to town, state, municipal. I'm sure it impacts fire agencies as well, that when you're buying vehicles, some are being now upfitted, and I think that's a cost savings to the communities. Certainly helps.
And you've moved to certain equipment that you don't have to worry about matching body styles.
Yeah, we were able to do that a couple of years ago. This year's budget is a 1.78% increase in the law enforcement budget. And you'll see a significant amount in the revenue side, and that really, as I mentioned a few weeks back, this is the tremendous support by more than 12 communities that support supplemental law enforcement coverage that do a tremendous job, which helps us offset the cost of the sheriff's office law enforcement division. If it wasn't for these small communities stepping up above and beyond, we'd be struggling to cover any calls. But these communities really make it a great partnership, and then also allows us not to put that in the budget. It should be noted that a couple of years ago, folks mentioned that there was an increase in staffing in law enforcement, and that it did look like an increase. But you have to quickly take that and go to the revenue side of that as well. There were 5 extra deputies put on over the course of 2 years. There were revenues to pay for all of those deputies in both of those positions, particularly in the communities of Orrington, Vernon, and Milford. And so that was a major change. So unfortunately, when folks look at just the budget, they're only looking at the expense part. On the law enforcement budget, it said, wow, it looked like you put on a lot of new people. So we could have either taken them completely out of our budget and tried to do it strictly as a pass-through, so you didn't see it, or be honest and show it in the budget that you have an expense, but you're also bringing on the revenue side of that to cover those expenses.
And I know some of your county partners are listening and are in the room. We wanted just to extend our appreciation for the continued cooperation that has given you what you needed while allowing the sheriff to manage the resources much more effectively.
It's undoubtedly one of the best programs there are, partnerships between smaller communities and the county that doesn't get passed on to all the traffic.
Thank you. Do we have any further questions for the sheriff's budget, Department 12, or will we entertain a motion?
Move approval is presented.
I have a motion. Have a second?
Just a quick comment. I mean, obviously, especially in this department, a lot of it's going to be wages and salaries, and benefits, and it's that line is payroll is up 6.6%. Luckily, because of the adjustments in capital equipment and other areas, that was why the overall impact is only $167,000. So I think it's a very reasonable question.
And I would like to point out, if you look at the revenue on this, which is predominantly contracts that you have, correct, Sheriff?
That's correct.
It's approximately $2.778 million that derives to the county from those collaborative efforts with communities. The budget for this year, if I'm not mistaken, is $9,568,000. So that is a little over 1/4 of the budget is covered by those participating communities and their support.
And the revenue dropped because of the federal, you lost the federal funding, the cops?
No, no.
grant,
No, that
One-fourth
that ran out last year, but that was only partial.
And the Milford position?
Yep, so Milford and Greenbush were looking at a partnership of an additional person. And it was gonna happen because we've already addressed this, but we're on different budget cycles. Us being the calendar year, they're being fiscal. And so we put it in there, and then it did not end up happening. Greenbush ended up funding a half of a position, but we're doing it through our deputies that we currently have, as opposed to putting on and hiring that extra body. So we backed that out of right now. But as you can see, backing that out, those other towns still had some increases, and that's why it didn't, it wasn't more of a
It's the economy of the scales that you're able to work with a number of people on.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Department 12 is funded at the requested level. Thank you for your time on that one, Sheriff. I suspect you're sticking around for coming attractions. Civil Department. At this point, the Civil Department does generate some revenue. Budgeted for 26 is approximately $470,000. Changes, most of these, if I'm not mistaken, are based upon adjustments on actuals. There is a mobile app that is proposed for $2,500. There is the statute and reference material that has gone up a bit. It looks like a significant increase percentage-wise, it's about $1,000. And then there's $6,000 here for taser replacements, which is $3,000 more than what historically has been there. Is that based upon, again, some of the new positions that require, no?
No, so on the app, the real adjustment was there, as you know, we have 3 different departments. The mobile app, website, all of that are really utilized by all 3 departments. And we've never billed any of that to civil, and so it made sense that they pay a percentage.
Okay.
So we built that in. On the taser one, that's just a future contract that we know that we have with Axon Gun. So it's really not an increase. It's going to be it's an increase, not in the numbers that we have, but we know that anticipate that there's a contract change that's coming with Axon. We don't do the capital purchase buyout. It's somewhat of a lease program.
And that results in about a 5.7% increase in the civil budget.
Yeah, the biggest jump in the civil budget was really just the car situation. We went to the 1 full-time person, extra full-time person a few years ago. And that kind of threw off our rotation of purchasing cars as we knew for many years. The revenues, as you can see, helped. The adjustment in the law helped. As you know, that law, the fees that civil could charge were not changed by the state for more than 20-something years. Those changed that allowed us to make some adjustments there. Civil revenue is down a little bit because of the services are down. And that's a up and down thing that we've come back quite a bit since COVID, but it seems like we're tailing off a tad now.
Okay. All right. Any further discussions on Department 13? Entertain a motion.
Move approval as presented.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of approving the request for Department 13, say aye.
Aye.
Department 13 is approved with no changes. Department 14, UT. The long-awaited UT. This is a separate budget for operational purposes, but there is a revenue and some costs associated with this. Do we have any questions? There seems to be some minor changes here, partially related to expensing out the DMS system, if I'm not mistaken, and some of the other programs that we contract for.
I was looking for a voluntary salary reduction, but I don't see it here.
Well, I don't think we impact the salary. I think we're dealing only with the portion of the budget that the UT assesses to the county. If I'm not mistaken, the department head is covered in the UT budget.
Yeah, that's tongue in cheek.
The county pays for Tina and I and our office and equipment supplies. But the UT pays back many hundreds of thousands of dollars to help cover some of those costs.
Okay, so we have a motion regarding the county's share of UT in Department 14. Do we have a motion?
I move we approve.
Have a motion, have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, George. It is unanimous.
You squeaked by, George.
Department 15, IT. There are some revenues that are derived from contractual arrangements. There is an increase in telephone. There's an increase in computer maintenance. Software licensing, computer supplies, and a reduction, I believe, by changing where the computer supplies for office furniture came from. So some of that increase in supplies may be offset by the change in the line item. The total is 4.13% increase, approximately $42,481. Are there any questions regarding Department 15 IT? Do we have a motion?
I hope we approve.
Second. Have a motion to approve and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous of those present. Department 15 is approved with 0 changes. That would bring us to Department 18, Maine State Retirement. Do we need any explanation on the state retirement system?
Move approval is presented.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Department 18 as presented? It is unanimous, I believe. It is unanimous?
Yes.
Aye. Aye. Okay. No changes to Department 18. Department 19, Health and Safety. No changes to this line item from prior years. Safety Committee, Health Council, $6,000 for 2026. Do I have a motion?
Approval is presented.
Motion is second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous. Department 19, move to Department 21, the jail cap. At this point, Department 21 reflects the cap that we are able to raise from the property taxpayers for this coming year. It is showing as $12,613,875.
I would suggest we do the jail budget for the jail cap, because they don't know the jail cap until you know the jail budget amount.
Okay, that's certainly fine. We will now go to Department 9. Department 9. This would be the jail. At this point, there is estimate in here, please note that the state in their recent budget approved $4 million for medically assisted treatment for year 1 only. In the last 4 years, Sheriff, I believe it's 4 years, we've gotten the 4 million aggregate from the state, not for Penobscot, but for the program.
All county jails, all 15.
So we are assured in the budget year 26, which goes till July 1st, of $4 million. But we are,
Not 4 million to Penobscot County.
no, but in the state budget, they are maintaining the MAT funding at where it was for the past 4 years.
That's correct.
So because we are still on a calendar year, as of July 1st, that MAT funding will be at risk.
And unfortunately, the $20 million split was flat funded, while the state's Department of Corrections budget went up 10%. The amount that was afforded to the counties,
9.6, but we don't want to quibble over 4.
our number guys did, right? But yeah, so the counties, I mean, you can see it didn't make sense to the counties. The state's budget went up 10%, but the county portion that they provided to the counties was flat funding.
As it has been for the last 4 years. And without any more political
Yeah, it's not
saying.
political, it's just
The
fact.
reality is, in our budget, we should recognize that when we come to July, if there is no additional funding from the state for that program, you still will have to continue that program.
The MAT funding, to be clear, the MAT funding, while it's called MAT funding, all facilities is designated to take on not just MAT. MAT is paid for out of different funds, some of it is grant funding, some of it's MAT funding. Different counties do it different ways. That it is a portion of recognizing that you're spending that in other places in your budget, so we're gonna give you some money. While it's called MAT, it's not directed to the MAT program all by itself.
It's basically like a block grant.
It's essentially saying we're trying to give you some supplemental money because we flat funded you and you have all these other expenses, and we're gonna call it MAT funding, because that was one of the many programs that we had to take on.
This may be unfair sitting here right now, but do you estimate what a half year or even a year might look like for the revenue we would receive from this funding model?
I don't know. It's based on, I do know, and this is why we brought this up in recent times, it's based on the population. So going back to your point, Commissioner, about us not accepting the boards, if we eliminate those numbers, we eliminate what we're going to pay for the state. So the state funding formula, which is a shame because it's a 1990s formula, still in place, takes our population, aggregate population of all of our inmates that we're responsible for. They divide that into that 20 million plus. That's how they figure out how much we're going to get. That's why in the last couple of weeks when they were putting out those reports, and they were minusing in the report to show 60 or 70 inmates are boarded out, I wanted to ensure we're receiving credit for them because we're actually paying for them, right? So they're an important part of our funding mechanism in the formula on how we get our state money. If we took those 70 names off there, that would be 70 less in that formula that we would get funded for the state. So while I absolutely understand your point, because I'm with you, I'm just as frustrated as anybody about this, it would actually put us backwards even further because we'd lose 70 more inmates that the state would be paying to the county.
How much they pay per inmate?
I'm
How
sorry.
much per inmate do they pay?
I'd have to figure that out to see what that would look like on, it's more than what we pay for board, right? So that Scott would be better off to say what they give us in total for the state, but it's definitely more than $100 a day per inmate.
Two other items in here that I think it's helpful for us to refresh the commission on from your presentation is you've changed your contract on medical, and they are now absorbing some costs related to medicine and pharmaceuticals.
So it looks like a higher increase in medical, but we were one of the only facilities that still paid for medicine separate from medical services. The provider that we have that we just entered in a contract with actually had for a few years, contracts to 6 or 8 county jails now. Her company actually has absorbed medicine. They're attempting to purchase medicine altogether and to see if they can reduce costs that way, utilizing one company. And so we signed a contract with them. So while that medical line went up, if you look down further in our budget, the medicine line actually went down.
Also, you changed your contract for pretrial services. Do you want to speak to that?
Indirectly, pretrial services is helping monitor individuals that are considered low risk, no risk individuals. Most of them are pretrial. Most of them would not end up in county jail as it is. The fact is, we're trying to encourage those folks to stay attending your court appearances, stay in treatment if you're supposed to be there, stay working if you're supposed to be there. Pretrial contract services case managers ensure that those people are attempting to do that. For various reasons, we had an outside vendor, and we had some differences in how that would be accomplished to make sure that people were successful. We've actually brought that in-house. I suspect that we're going to actually be able to do it cheaper in the future, but I wanted to make sure that we're being successful and not just having the numbers out. Those average about 50 people a day that are out in those programs, thereabouts.
Matt is roughly a $500,000. It would be a little bit higher now because they threw it into the formula. And so we actually made out a little bit better on the formula, but lost overall because of bed days. So the initial allocation out of the $4 million was a $500,000 for Penobscot.
Okay. Any further discussions, or are we ready for motion regarding the jail budget, Department 9? Seeing that we have no further discussion, I would entertain a motion regarding Department 9.
I move we approve the budget for Department 9.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I think, I have no problem with the budget the sheriff's put forward. I think he has no other option, but I don't know what to do. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to do something with it's going to get some people's attention. And I just, nobody seems to be paying any attention to the cost of what we're spending for boarding and what's being passed on to taxpayers of the county. I mean, I know sheriff has no option but to do it, but he has an option not to fund it. By not funding the boarding, whether it's going to cost the county more than that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So
purposes of discussion.
I will second it.
Second, okay. And then as we take the vote, people will vote as they are so inclined. Any further discussion beyond what we have covered so far? Seeing none, I will call for vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay, but I don't really have a good alternative, sorry.
I understand. Okay. So we have dealt with Department 9. This brings us back to the jail cap at Department 21.
Correct.
The jail cap, as indicated, is for this year proposed to be $12,613,875. And to just be clear, does the approval of this incorporate that deficit?
Yes.
Okay. So without the deficit, it would be closer to 8?
Be like 9.2, something.
Okay. How do you want to proceed on the jail cap? It's not a simple issue, but it's a simple question of how we're going to.
You asked me the question about the deficit. I mean, you have a question on the deficit.
Would you like to explain that?
Well, I took it as what is, so basically the difference, if you took out the deficit of the 3.4 and change, what the number would be in the cap. Is that correct?
Correct. Does that clarify it? So this cap is based upon us absorbing the full deficit in this year's budget.
Plus the increase. That would bring you down to 9.2, but that's, the 9.2 would still include the increase for the jail this year, the budgetary increase.
So we would still be carrying a $600,000
Right, and that's all of that.
increase for this.
Okay, this is what I've been trying to get at. As I understood, this $4 million increase is only over the jail cap for this year.
Right.
And we still have what we went over in the previous years. So if you add everything up, we're over $10 million in deficits. Is that correct?
That would be correct with regard, yes, yes.
So he's funding the full $4 million, we're only funding what we're spending for this year.
Correct,
Nothing in past years.
right, no,
Okay. So,
no. The funding
Right.
of past years will go back to fund balance. And
Right.
I think that would be part of the plan.
right,
Working it out would be hopefully at some point, especially when you get rid of the old facility, that you start creating a little bit of surplus somewhere to build that back up.
so with the 600, whatever the small amount you're talking, that's just over what we spent last year, which we didn't fund to start with. So the 4 million is over what we've never funded in the past.
Correct, the 4 million is a 3.4
Right. Over.
shortfall, which you'll see in the jail revenue.
Right,
For last year, under the jail revenues, you're gonna see a revenue deficit of 3,413,052. Add the 595,908, which is the increase of the jail budget, 26. That gets you to the 4 million and change, yeah.
and outstanding, there's still gonna be about $5 million or more, maybe 6 million outstanding, right? In the previous 4 years?
Yes, because after
Okay.
this year, it could grow to, yeah, I'm hoping it's not that bad, but.
Right, okay. So I appreciate the perspective, I just don't see how we cannot fund the whole thing, because we've depleted the fund balance to pay for these other years, so if we don't fund the whole 4 million, we don't have any way to pay for it if we don't fund it.
Right, you're gonna have to borrow more money,
Borrow more
and you're gonna go
money.
deeper in
Well,
the
but
hole.
if you borrow a tan, you're gonna pay back the tan, we're not gonna have money to pay, we're not gonna have cash flow to pay the tan back.
You're gonna have to figure out cash flow at
Nobody's
the
gonna give
end
us
of the
this.
year.
Yeah,
And then,
so it's
so
gonna run out before
I-
December 31st.
I think you're gonna struggle with a tan for just
I don't know
January
what
to
bank could give
September
us a tan based on cash flow.
without showing them a plan to get out of this.
Right,
And it works the same thing with the bond. That's why this group is so important to develop and to work with you.
And you can't figure out the cash flow until you
Yeah.
tell me what the bottom line,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, more accurately, but still, yeah, raw figures
just a
are,
ballpark.
I'm hoping I'm off $1 million and it's to the good, but,
I don't know.
you know, if I am, that's not a big number, even a half a
No.
million, that's not a big number what we're
No.
talking about. So, yes, in December, as we talked about, and again, I think working with this committee, this group, in December, you start looking at your cash flow projection, because,
For next year.
yeah, you're gonna be running on fumes in January, and you gotta start borrowing. So.
Because at the end of December, I had 19,000 million to collect in tax revenue. But I had an outstanding debt of almost 15. The difference only leaves you what you got to spend.
And your cash flow per month is
Right.
averaging about 3 million.
So, you know,
Yeah, 2 or 3
we usually have a
quarters.
little bit of money in reserve for stuff.
Well, that's why our cash flow, you're saying, well, how could you be,
Yeah.
7 million in the hole and still have some cash flow? Well, cash flow was an issue a little bit last year, definitely is this year. But the fund balance, the designated fund balances of the reserve accounts is what really carry,
That's what you,
yeah, and the
That's what you
assistance of
carry.
ARPA with cash
Yeah.
flow, yeah.
yeah,
So we've invaded reserves that need to be replenished.
yeah.
No, you didn't actually physically take them, well, you took
We
the
didn't-
money,
we didn't
the
take the
number is
money.
still there.
Yeah.
The numbers are still there, but that cash is all in one big pot.
Yeah.
So,
But we're accounting for it in the appropriate departments. Or the
absolutely,
accounts,
yeah.
On the balance sheet.
So, does that help you, not that it's good news, but does it help you clarify where we stand and how we should move forward? Okay. So I would entertain a motion regarding the jail cap.
Well, I would move we approve the jail cap.
Second.
At the current level.
Correct level.
2026 proposed jail cap is 12,613,875. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous.
And we got a couple of the small ones left.
Oh, the very important bridges account.
No, you save that for last, let's do county insurance. first, and, yeah, we didn't get that one.
We did
The
not.
retirement, yeah.
Is insurance, is this under 22, Scott?
Yes, yes,
I
sir.
missed that. I don't have 22.
That's under
22,
insurance retirement.
No,
You don't have it?
Retirement group insurance.
Oh, I'm sorry, here it is right here. Okay. It was, I think,
Zero.
Yep.
Zero net.
Clint, you gonna be heading north?
I got a meeting in Warren, so yes, I'm back at the office, but yes, I'll be at the office.
thanks, Clint.
Department 22, county insurance. We're looking at roughly the same amount as last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, yep.
Move approval as presented.
I have a motion to approve. Second? Have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is unanimous of those present. Next and final is the bridge account, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is a small account that we maintain. It is there it is, 24. Okay. Department 24 is $100, same as last year. Do we have a motion?
We accept.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Did we do 32?
Yes,
Yeah, I had 32 down, yes.
Yeah,
yep.
we flat funded it at 3-0 unanimous vote.
Yeah, we've done everything, you know.
I think that's it.
And everything's been unanimous.
So according to my rough calculations, and you probably have this closer, we have found a reduction of approximately $93,000 out of the different departments we have covered here.
Something's not linking, I know, yeah. Yeah, so I don't have totals for you.
Okay. From what I've written down, and this is,
Yeah,
If you could just run everything again, because I'm still, if you look at it, the bottom line, every department,
Yeah.
I mean, one department has 6% increase, most of them were like 3 or less, so I was talking how we went from 14 to, that 6% delta between the 14 and the 20.
6% of a $100,000 budget versus 6% of a $3 million.
6% is 6%.
so let me,
Yeah.
so let me give it to you, because I did find some time in working at this out, so. The gap, the 3.4, is roughly 13.6%. Then you get the 600,000, which is another 2.4.
Yeah.
And then the counties is only 4.26, I think
Okay.
6 was being thrown out
Yeah.
here, and then when you said that, I go, I think it's 4 something,
Okay.
but, so I went back in,
Okay.
yeah.
So what's the other 600,000, that's additional?
Yes,
So now-
so overall, the jail is actually,
Yeah.
15.9.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think if you look at what our contractual obligations are for 75% of the budget, 4% is not.
No, I just, 6% wasn't that, that 4% makes sense, 6%.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I think part of the exercise that's helpful is we're all understanding what the more accurate numbers are versus what we've projected.
oh, I know, yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, any good news? So we have gone through the departments. We need to provide a vote at some point, so you are ready to prepare the books to send it to the budget committee?
Yeah, we still have a conversation, an executive session, and the conversation about Department 4, which is why I was saying, if you wanted to vote contingent, because this is not gonna be exact, so I figured out where I wasn't working, I was playing with the cell, so the trigger's gone, but, right now, tentatively, it's at 19.86. Woo, I'll do it. But again, with Department 4, that's why I asked the director, I mean, is it just gonna be just revenues, does it balance, so.
So we probably should go to that executive session now. Do we have another executive session following that on a personnel matter, correct? Yeah. So why don't we, if Chris Lavoie is available, bring him back in and go into executive session for that purpose, and then the second executive session for personnel following that?
The personnel is no longer needed.
So we have three
We
other,
have 3 executive sessions, they're all contractual. One is 911, one is interim administrator,
Okay,
and then,
all right, that's what I was referring to.
so actually, now there's only a need for 2.
Okay.
Because, yeah, the other one was for negotiations, but I did not get anything prepared for that,
Okay.
so.
So we are prepared for a motion for 2 executive sessions.
Yes.
related.
Well, you're gonna have to come back out and, well, you can, and vote on the budget, but, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, would you prefer that we do that before we go into the second executive session?
Yes.
Okay.
You got some other things, you wanted to do the rest of his things under commission?
You wanna do the,
Yeah, we gotta do
Oh, you still
the
didn't do the warrants.
Okay, I would entertain a motion related to approval of warrants.
I move we approve, the warrants, stipulated under item H of today's agenda.
Second?
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. We do have the administrator's report on the budget committee membership and the municipal budget. Do you want to briefly?
We already went over that,
Oh, we
but
did.
yeah.
Okay.
I think you're all set.
I need to make confirmation.
I have one more slot that I'm not yet filled. I
Okay,
have provided Mary Ann with one. I had 2 people that have, for various reasons, vacated those positions.
and then I went over I called it the budget advisory, municipal budget advisory panel or committee, whatever it is, because you're familiar with it, so.
Yep, okay, so we have covered, other than the executive sessions.
We just got 2 other things under the commission, under item F, we got 2 other items.
Oh,
Well, that's right, yes.
okay. So 2026 Commissioner Budget Review.
Yeah, we just did that, weekly meetings.
Deputy Treasurer designee. Or did you, are we're talking about the, I'm sorry, Commissioner, you had suggested we discuss weekly meetings.
Yeah, I just saw it in
Pleasure of the
I
commission.
just saw in the absence of and then when we have till we get a new administrator on, it might be helpful to have weekly commissioner meetings.
I think that suggestion is prudent. I would support it.
So we would entertain a motion to move to weekly meetings for the
Foreseeable future.
Second?
motion to second, further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye, and we
Aye.
would check with probate to make sure that we are not in conflict on any dates here.
You did for November.
I did.
Okay, so November looks like we're covered. I am away next Wednesday, so we'll need a link if you would.
Soon.
This was just a cleanup item, deputy treasurer designee, less finance director unless
So we have
Glenn's gone.
a
Yeah.
recommendation. The treasurer skipped out.
You might just put that next week.
Well, is that what he intended?
Is that what he intended?
No, he's got eye surgery.
I think so. I believe that's what he
I
intended.
think we would be
Have you
comfortable with
conversed
that.
about that?
I have not.
Maybe we should let him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I respect.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
So at this point, we are then ready for executive session number 1.
Yep, and I think I see that there, right there.
We go into executive session on MRSA 4056D contractual matters.
Great.
Can we adjourn?
Thank you all who are still here for your